Hello everyone, today I'm gonna explain LeetCode SQL Solutions, problem named biggest single number. Let's see the problems first together. A single number is that appear only once in the My Numbers table. There is a My Numbers table down below. Find the largest single number. If there's no single number, we have to report null. Let's understand examples by below. For example, as you see in the My Numbers table, there's column named num. If you see it, 8 is duplicated and 3 is duplicated. So only a single number is 1, 4, 5, 6. But the biggest single number in here is 6, so we're gonna show the result 6 in here. On the other hand, if there is no single number, for example, 8 is duplicated, 7 is duplicated, and 3 is also duplicated. So there is no unique one single number. So if that happens, we're gonna return it null on the result. So that's the problem understanding. So let's find out how to approach this problem. Let's move on to the solution page. So let's think about it together, how to approach and solve it. I think, what do you guys think? I think first we have to group by. The thing is, I think what is difficult thing to solve this problem is first we have to count the number of each number. So in here I think we can use group by plus we're gonna use count aggregate function to how many numbers are appeared in here. I think it is easy to think about this one. The second difficult thing, I think, how you guys find the maximum number. How to find a maximum number, and also how to find if there is one single number, how to return null if there is no single number. How are we gonna do that? I think that's the second difficult thing to solve this problem. In here, I think first we can, filter it using having, and if count, for example, CNT is 1, we're gonna filter it like this. For example, in here, if you use group by and count and having CNT1, it's gonna be deleted, and only the 1, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6 gonna be exceeded. And in here, how to find it? I think in here, the first approach, I think you can use case when first. So if the num exists, so if the num is not null, then we're gonna return max num. So it will gonna find, SQL engine gonna find the max num, else you're gonna just return null. Then you can solve this part. For example, this part is the first one and this part is the second one. You can find second part this and first part this. So I think it is better to understand by the write the code together on the screen. So let's move on to screen to write the code together. The first step, I think, what we're gonna approach, I think we're gonna first group by it, plus we're gonna, I think, count it by each number is appeared. So we can do it. Select from My Numbers table, and I'm gonna use group by. And group by the column name is num, and then we're gonna count how many numbers are appeared in here, and I'm just call it, for example, CNT. Let's run the code together. What's the result first? So as you can see, there is a number 8, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, and it appear how many numbers appear. For example, 8 appear 2, 3 appear 2, and 1, 4, 5, 6 is only appear 1, so that is the single number that we want to find. In here, if you want to more condition after the group by, we have to use having clauses. So having, we only want this single 1, 4, 5, 6, so appeared only once, so we're gonna do having count is 1. Or you can also use just cnt1, but I prefer more in here. So as you can see, they only filter it that appeared only once. So that is the first step. So that is the first step, we solve it. The second step is we have to find the maximum. If the number exists, we have to find maximum number, max num, else we're gonna just return null. That is the second step. So in here, I think I'm gonna use subquery to use, because I want to use a CNT, so I'm gonna call it sub, and I'm using subquery select. So I make it more prettier. And in here, I'm gonna, when you do something makes the column in certain way, show in the certain way, you have to use case when. So you use case when. So if num exists, then we're gonna print max num, so that we can find only the 6 in here, for example. Else we're gonna just return null if there is no num, and we're gonna call it num as output wanted. I'll show you guys first, and it will cause an error, and I will explain what is not good. Yeah, if you show it, case 1, case 2 is accepted, but if you submit the code, there is edge cases. For example, num 0, it still exists, but my output is null, but what we expected is 0, so there is something wrong. I'm gonna use these test cases here. So what is really important in here, case when gonna judge if true or false, but it will be encoding if the num is 0, so I'm gonna write it down. So what I'm gonna explain is case when gonna judge if num is 0, it's gonna automatically judging it's gonna be false, so it's gonna be print null. But in here we don't want to print a null, we want to print 0. So in here, if you want to fix this, you have to write more specifically, if num is not null, then we're gonna print max num, else you're gonna print null. If you write it like this, and there will be no problem, because 0 is not null. Yeah, all test cases is succeeded. Let's submit the code. Yeah, congratulations, it succeeded. So I'm gonna also show you guys the more easiest way. Third part is more easiest way. Actually, you don't have to use case when, you just use max num like this as num, and the result will be gonna same. Yeah, all test cases, if you submit the code, yeah, it also worked. Now I'm gonna explain why it also worked, because it automatically, aggregate function like max, for example, sum or average. Yeah, if there is no results, something, it will gonna just print as null automatically. So what's in here, for example, if there is a single number, it will automatically print the max number of each in column. But in here also, if there is matching, there's no single number, it will automatically make a null if there is no cases in here. So if you want to use it more like shorter, You can also print it like this: to use aggregate functions attribute that returns null if there is no result. Yeah, so we write the query together. So we're gonna organize the key point together, and let's move on to the key point section. So let's organize the key point. I think the first difficult thing and important key point of first this one is how we gonna find only single number. That's the first key point of this problem. We use group by, and we use having clauses, and we use, it's the first, we use count aggregate function, and we use having clauses, and only count, only leave that appears once. So, and second key point was how we gonna find a maximum number of single. So I'm gonna write it down: how to find a max single number. And also, if there is no single number, how we gonna return null. So that is the second key point of this problem. So in here, first, I'm gonna show you guys more initiative ways that we use case when. We use case when. So if the num is not null, then I just printed the max number. And else, I just do it as null, and we end the clauses like this. And third key point of this part is, if you want to use case when, in here you have to use is not null. If you just use num, there is edge cases. 0, for example, 0 will be judged in case when false, so it's automatically go to null cases. So don't forget, if you want to really certain that num exists, you have to use num is not null. Yeah, I think this is these 3 key points are the main lesson of this video. Thank you for watching this video, guys.